we've done this intro 10 times.
It's my fault.
We can do it.
Pretty much. Okay. So, hello from Portugal. We have an important travel update.
Yes, so we are going to be wrapping up our around the world trip early and are heading back to the U.S. in 2 weeks. All right, so in 2 weeks we'll have been on the road for a total of 32 weeks, so it'll be 8 months. It's actually flown by pretty quickly. And we've decided that we're going to return home.
Yeah.
And when we started the trip, we gave ourselves a year for our around the world life reset.
Yeah, weren't sure if that time frame was going to work, or if we were going to do the full year or not, or more, or whatever. So we are. I think we're actually a little surprised that we feel ready to go home.
I anticipated
longer.
I thought we were going to start the trip and then be like, okay, I don't want to go back in a year. Let's travel like 14 months or 16 months.
Yeah.
But yeah,
here we are.
Yeah, and so the idea for our trip, though, just as a kind of a recap reminder, is that it was to do a life reset. So it was to put our careers on hold. It's almost like a career gap year, sabbatical.
Yeah, mid-career.
Really reflect on things. Just take the opportunity to step out of day-to-day life and Monday through Friday life.
Exactly.
The travel component was, in a way, a bonus.
Right. I think it would have been hard to do this. Someone asked us actually on the trip at one point. They're like, "Well, couldn't you have just done this at home and
like take a year off, save up money, and then take a year off?"
But I think it would have been hard to accomplish what we wanted to accomplish and really get out of where we were and step out.
Yeah, and meeting new people and being exposed to different cultures
things.
And doing different activities.
Right.
And that was the big thing for us with our travel, was trying to expose ourselves to people, things, and activities that we never had done before. And so I think the two most impactful ones
was the meditation retreat and the Tai Chi instruction.
Yeah. So when we did the meditation retreat, it was a 10-day silent meditation retreat. That was at the end of November into the beginning of December. When we got done with that retreat, we both thought we had the conversation afterwards. How much more travel do you think that you need to do to kind of accomplish not accomplish, too strong of a word, but for the life reset component of the trip.
Exactly. Yeah.
And then we went and did the Tai Chi,
which was really nice to have those back to back, and it just reinforced some things. And I think even more so after that, ever since that, we've kind of been like, I think we feel like we have gained what we were wanting to from the trip, and we have a lot of stuff. We've gained a lot of stuff as far as things to do, things to work on, practice. At this point,
and if you're wondering what some of that is, like our last life reset video, number 5, we talk a lot about the meditation retreat and Tai Chi and the concepts of kind of what we're referring to.
Yeah, exactly. So I think at this point, we don't have room in our brains to add anything more as far as those concepts, and we have enough to work on. That the rest of it would be travel, just basically to see the sights, which, boo-hoo, the poor thing, but I think that wasn't why we decided to do this. And, it just,
there would be diminishing return if we kept traveling. It would be just to travel for the sake of travel. And like you said,
we can do that from home.
We can, too. Right. I mean, you can do that on holidays. And I think we're both interested in applying what we've been learning and working on, and mindfulness and living in the moment and,
from a home base.
Right. And fortunately where we left, we absolutely love where we lived, and we loved the people there, and it was really a great, and we've said that from the start, we left on our around the world reset
On good terms.
At a perfect time, because we were leaving really good environments,
Yep.
a good place with good people. We weren't trying to escape anything.
No.
Where I think if somebody was going on this sort of trip and they weren't happy with where they were before, I think it'd be very challenging to go back.
Yeah.
So
we are going back in a different
way.
capacity. We are both going back to our careers part-time. That is to give us time to continue to apply these things and have time outside of work to do things like volunteering and I want to provide Pilates lessons and Pete, you want to find something to
it's more
do that outside of the office.
Outside of the office environment, right?
So just giving us that flexibility to do that, and also funny enough, like when we started doing this trip, we soon, very quickly, got out of that whole 9 to 5 Monday through Friday mentality. Like we don't even know what day it is today.
I really don't
which
have no idea.
is great. So we kind of want to maintain that, which is not our typical personality.
Yeah.
And so there is some anxiety. I know personally, I have some anxiety about whether I can maintain this.
And I think and if we went back and do a Monday through Friday typical,
it would be
very difficult to do. So by going back into our careers part-time gives us the flexibility, like you said, volunteering and having other creative outlets, and even simplifying our lives and our expectations even more. Right. So when we, years ago, we were in far more challenging jobs and environments, and we had a house that was way too big for 2 people, and we simplified our lives several years ago with our first mini life reset to live where we were living right before this life reset. Right. Sorry if I just confused everybody, but when we, so our life was already very simple. We had a very small apartment. We didn't have a lot of personal belongings, so it actually made doing this trip very easy.
Yes.
And I think what our goal is to go back and even simplify it further and just keep it very simple and really think about what's important.
Live in the present.
Live in the present.
Yes.
Live in the moment. Don't live in the past. Don't live in the future.
Yeah.
And just really, be in the present.
Yeah. So at this point, we are looking obviously at the logistics of going home. Thank goodness we found an apartment in the same apartment building that we were in before. So we were very lucky.
Yep.
And, we had sold our vehicles. So we're looking at buying some used vehicles.
But also from a practical standpoint with the travel. So we'd saved up money and sold our vehicles and sold a bunch of our belongings to save money for the trip.
Right.
By ending our travels early, we have a surplus of travel money that we're not spending on travel. Being from the United States, we don't have universal health care. So in order for us to have health insurance, since we're working part-time, we won't get it through our employers. Right. We have to purchase it on our own. And so we'll be getting that, buying that privately. And the nice thing is, and part of the benefit of going back early is the additional travel money that we had saved. We're using that to apply to health insurance. Yeah. So that'll give us more
the
flexibility
and peace of mind.
Peace of mind to do that.
Yeah, exactly. So the vehicles, just the logistic stuff. So we'll do an update at some point when we get back to kind of say let you guys know like how it's going. How's the return? Are we doing okay? Things like that. And
it'll be interesting to see how let us know your interest in the blog and in updates as we go forward, because there's a weird balance of privacy and sharing information about yourself, which is kind of ironic that we're saying that as we're filming a video about our
but we're on the road.
But we're on the road and it feels different than when you're in one location and at home. And so we're kind of torn with how much to share about a life reset.
Right.
And because
about the return and applying this stuff and how's it going.
Because you do see a lot of people that do trips like this, they don't talk about
at all
about the return. We have talked to not a lot, but several other people who have traveled, couples and individuals who have done around the world trips, and then they go back and then within a year they hit the road again.
Yeah.
Because they didn't like the transition back. So that adds a little bit to the anxiety, and so we're kind of curious to see.
what we're going to do.
What we'll do there.
Yep.
In terms of the travel component, we've been in Portugal about a week. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
It's been great. Porto's an awesome city.
Yeah, really like Porto.
It was beautiful weather the first couple days. It's been torrential rain the past 3, but it looks like
starting to get sunny.
Clearing up a little bit.
Yep.
We are here. Then we'll go down to a couple more days in Coimbra and then Lisbon. And then we fly out of
Lisbon on the 13th.
13th. And then before we were in Portugal, we were in Malta for 2 weeks. And Malta and Portugal have been
great.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And they're both places that we would visit again.
Absolutely. Highly suggest it.
So,
So we will talk to you when we get home.